Hello everybody and welcome back. We are here at Sibos 2022 in the wonderful Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I'm very happy to be joined by Raji Soussou of Comply Advantage. Raji, how are you?
Very well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. What do you make of Sibos so far?
Very entertaining show. We were pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
It's been very, very busy actually from day one, which is, great for us.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's massive, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, there's a lot. Everybody seems to be here. But before we get on to our questions so far, why don't you give our audience a little bit of an insight into who you are and what your position is at Comply Advantage?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Raji Soussou. I'm the VP of Channel and Alliances for Comply Advantage. I've got a team of 12. We cover the globe, and effectively, myself and my team are tasked with building an ecosystem of partners, strategic which some are, of providing our capability, our functionality to be consumed by our partners to create a new whole product, potentially, that they will then take to market to serve banks and financial services across the globe.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that. Beginning with our conversation, I'm really interested in how strategic partnerships are helping banks to mitigate AML risks and fraud risks. What was your position on that in the use of strategic partnerships in that way?
Sure, that's a very good question. So from a channel perspective, from a partnership perspective, we're looking to build ecosystems with like-minded organisations that we believe that we can provide a valuable, and let's call it an insight and data enrichment capability and functionality that they can then consume. So I'll give you a great example. So if we look at customer onboarding, KYC, and if we look at the traditional players in the marketplace today, such as IDV vendors that will manage that entire onboarding process, we provide that capability to allow them to screen customers. So that module, if you want to call it from us, that data insight, that capability that we provide gets consumed within the IDV process, or the facial recognition and IDV, and then it becomes a whole product, a whole end-to-end service from an FSI or a bank's perspective, that they can effectively take it as a one-stop shop. They don't have to have multiple contracts with multiple vendors and manage that process. We've also got partners that we have, or an ecosystem that we have developed now with orchestration platforms that provide more of the KYC process. So, we were talking about facial biometrics and IDV, but then that journey doesn't just stop there. It's the customer lifecycle that we also provide capability for. So Comply Advantage's capability of providing ongoing monitoring. So once that initial onboarding has been done, then the continuation of monitoring of that entity or individual, we provide that capability into the ecosystem as well, which then gets consumed into their workflow and provides a valuable service for the whole product which they provide.
Fantastic. And in terms of financial institutions, what is making them look towards the use of innovative technologies to effectively manage their AML risk framework?
So the two answers that we hear predominantly from our partners and the end customers: efficiency, to be quite honest with you, speed to market, reducing onboarding time. Let's call it the ability to have better informed choices of whether to onboard a customer or not from an onboarding perspective. The granularity of data that we also have, we put in the way in which we provide it. Our integration, okay, so consumed from an API. So we make no apologies that Comply Advantage is a disruptor in the marketplace. Our speed to market, our efficiency that we provide, the configurability of the way in which we're able to provide that data into the ecosystem and how it gets consumed. That's really the benefit that the end banks or the financial institutions are looking for.
So, Raji, as you've done really well to emphasize, is that there are so many different risks happening right now in the industry, and so many needs to protect yourself as a company. In terms of money laundering, I mean, where do you see the biggest threat right now?
Great question, and it really depends who you ask. And again, who they're covering by way of industry, sector, vertical they're looking after, what part of the value proposition piece they're looking after. But the majority of what I hear from our ecosystem really falls into two areas: people, resource, or lack of it, should I say. Not enough BSAs, MLROs. Those that have been in the industry for a while now leaving, no one's really coming in to sort of replace them in terms of the numbers that are going. The manual effort that they have to go through, the workload. Again, companies like Comply Advantage are bringing that cost efficiencies, speed to market, reducing false positives, doing it in a very digital way is obviously helping. But the real thing that we keep hearing all the time is just not enough resource, which is sad. I mean, we're all trying to combat the same thing. Our mission is to reduce financial crime down to zero. Hopefully, that's the goal. That's our mission. But I'm fortunate to be at a company where we are helping, where the cost efficiencies that we're driving effectively doesn't require you to have 200, 300 analysts sitting there going through paper. We're taking a lot of that heavy weight, or should we say inefficiencies away from them, and so effectively we're giving them the ability to have much better granularized data, optimized as well for exactly what they want, and removing all the cost efficiencies around it. So whilst yes, people are going, and the resource is obviously is an issue, we're trying to compensate by effectively make it as automated as possible, so that can offset the losses that they're seeing.
Silver lining, I guess, of the situation.
Let's hope. Yeah.
In terms of you're obviously at Sibos now, it's a very, very big event. In terms of your strategy for the rest of the year and into 2023, what can we expect that to look like?
So what I'm able to say is that we're looking, and again, widening the ecosystem to include core banking providers. So traditionally, those that didn't really want to include AML or didn't really have a view on AML within their core banking offering or solution. We're seeing a lot more providers now coming to us, and we're going to them, and there's a lot of collaboration, which you'll see in the next few weeks, hopefully before the end of this year. But also the non-traditional, the disruptive players in core banking space. So let's call them the bank as a service or bank as a box. That also extends itself to payment as a service. We're seeing a lot of demand that's now coming through from compliance as a service, which typically you never really heard that term.
Oh, really?
But effectively it's a managed service. So they will have a number of skilled individuals that would effectively provide compliance for their partners. That's an outsourced solution. And we have seen a high number, actually. In fact, now these new sort of niche business vertical, if you want to call it, come into existence because they're looking at reducing inefficiencies in an organization. They haven't got the resources and they're outsourcing it. So for us, there's some really exciting ecosystems and sort of new direction that we want to go in. And again, the ecosystem is widening with brand new organizations that are coming to market with great value propositions as well.
Well, that was very, very exciting. Raji Soussou, it's been fantastic to speak to you today.
Pleasure.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of your time at Sibos this week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.